Again, the last thing I want to do is strip the nut. All right, y'all, welcome to Two Wheeled Views. I am in the garage. I have donned my Crocs, which means project time. So we are here with my 2023 Yamaha XSR 900. I am going to be installing a 90-degree valve stem on the front tire. I've been losing a little bit of air pressure on the front tire. I recently installed these tires. I inspected it really, really well, and slowly losing air pressure, meaning over several days. So this is going to be kind of a two birds with one stone. I like the 90-degree valve stems. Makes life a little bit easier to put air in, get air out, as well as I think looks a little bit better, but then hopefully solves my problem with losing air. So we're going to dive into it. I'm going to kind of walk you through the steps here. Should be a fairly straightforward job, but hopefully it's not too time consuming, so bear with me here. So step one is going to be to remove the front tire. I like to loosen up the pinch bolts, everything like that, while it's on the ground before I lift it up on the stand. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, we got the tire off, and now on to the next steps. Our Abaconda, obviously we're gonna remember which side of the tire is front and back. Nice, because one side has ABS, one side does not. So just gonna set up the Abaconda here. Obviously can't use it yet because I gotta let the air out of the tire. Valve pours out, tire's letting out air. Give you guys a better look of what's going on. Find the right spot. Oh, really? There we are. Okay, so we've broken the bead, which is exactly what we need to do. Okay, so the hardest part here is that now that I've got the Abaconda pushing the tire out of the way, I can see the top part of the valve stem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this old one out, get the new one in, and go from there. Okay, so in theory, it should be a pretty easy process. I'm gonna cut off the bottom part of the valve. Okay, so I got this part cut with this part right there. So I cut it with the razor blade, and then I was able to just pull this off with those pliers over there, and then this popped right out the top. So pretty easy once you realize what's going on, which is why I'm making the video for you guys. So we'll take a look in here. You can see that now we've got this nice hole. I'm gonna clean that with a rag and some alcohol, and then get the new part placed down in there. All right, so what I've got here is a Driven Racing 90-degree valve stem. I know you can buy these no-name on eBay pretty cheap, but personally, when it's something that's controlling air going in or out of my tire, levers and things like that, I always buy name brand. So this was like $22. I think I just added it to my cart at Revzilla one day. All right, so we've got the part here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a dab of Loctite on there. And then the job is going to be to push this out of the way. So I got it seated on finally, which was not easy. But once you do that, it should be good. Okay, I got the long one that has the angle, because the last thing you want to do is strip this bolt after it was such a pain in the ass to get in. So I need to get you guys a better angle. How's that? So I've got it pinned down there. And now, we make sure it stays. Gonna check on it here. Yep, looks great. Again, the last thing I want to do is strip the nut. Or break the nut. Hello everyone, so we are back in the garage because I busted a nut in the not fun way, which means that I stripped this nut as I was trying to torque it down and I over torqued it. So it stripped off like crazy, which means I now have the replacement part. Still name brand, bought this from Cycle Gear this morning. So we're gonna go ahead and install this, which, take it from me, don't bust a nut in the garage. And check your torque specs. So we're gonna get this one installed. Pretend it didn't happen. And again, ABS side on this side, I want it pointing on the other side, so it's pointing out to the right. I'm going to hand tighten this down. Okay. That's it. There we go. And then I'm not gonna break it this time, but I am gonna get some pressure behind it. Oh yeah, there we are. I feel it. There you are, so you can see that it's grabbed onto the nut down there. The rubber is pushing up. I'm gonna go one more turn. There we are. Okay, so I'm gonna remount the tire, put air back in it, and get it back on the bike. And it's one of those fun garage days that takes 2 days. So I've got everything torqued to spec. Front axle, 77 foot-pounds, brake calipers, everything like that. So we now have our beautiful 90-degree valve stem, which we're gonna take a look at here. So here we are. What should have been a 30-minute job ended up taking 2 days, but we now have a 90-degree valve stem, and you can already see how much easier putting that cap on was, facing right towards me. So, lessons learned. Check your torque specs. All right, well, I appreciate y'all making it to the end of the video. Hopefully that was helpful. It shouldn't be an insanely difficult job. You just got to get access to it and then go ahead and just tighten it down. But I'm happy I've got it. It's one of those things that it's very small, not super expensive, but once you've got it on your bike, you're happy you have it. Thanks so much for checking out Two Wheel Views. I'm gonna try to start posting a little bit more regularly with stuff that I do in the garage, stuff that I do out in the canyons. Weather's starting to warm up here in Utah, so really nice weather coming through with some nice candies to be riding. So remember, you don't always have to ride safe, but make sure that you arrive safe. Keep 2 wheels down.